Hey everyone, Obzio here. No, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but it is WrestleMania season. Doesn't really feel like it as much. Not the best build-up we've had to WrestleMania in the past couple years. Even though Chamber might have surprisingly been like in the top 5 pay-per-views I've seen. So it felt like we were kicking off a strong build-up start to WrestleMania, but it really hasn't felt like WrestleMania season sets. But anyways, it's a season nonetheless. So I'm going to give my predictions. So let's start with the match that I would consider at the very bottom of the card. Probably, it could be Rey Mysterio versus whatever Chad Gable was calling himself in that mask now. I don't even know. Andrade Americano? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't remember, honestly. I'm surprised this match is not happening on a Raw. It is happening at WrestleMania, to be honest. But it's always good to see the legendary Mysterio get on the card, nonetheless, which is probably why it is on there. However, do I think Rey is going to win? I'm going to say no. We keep pushing Chad, it seems like. Keep giving him these new gimmicks to potentially push him, and then we just continue to bury him. So I think it's going to be no different here. Also, do I have to write this for you, like yourselves, WWE? Like, this could have been just like a mask versus mask match or something, but nonetheless, ridiculous new gimmick and storyline going on, and I think it will just end hopefully as quickly as possible, and maybe Rey will just end the thing and beat him and probably unmask and expose Chad for the world to see. But anyways, on to some better matches for the world to see for WrestleMania. Well, some better matches. I'm also going to predict some matches on here, even though I know they haven't been officially announced yet. Matches that will, like, let's be real, probably be on the card. First off, with Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I feel like they're trying to build Drew towards the world title picture again. Although I don't think, spoilers for my future prediction, I don't think Cody's going to still have the title after Mania, though, but they were teasing that since he just had Cody's number. But yeah, I'm still going to say they're going to give Drew the win here. I think Drew is going to win that match. Next is a match they finally did make official, and that is Naomi versus Jade. Now, to give the momentum to Jade, who just returned, and we're still trying to, in the process of making a single star, transitioning her over from the tag team division into a single star. I think they are going to give her the win. That would be my prediction. However, Naomi has done terrific work with this heel turn, so I'm not going to actually be too surprised if they pull a swerve and they give the upset victory to her either, and I wouldn't be too mad about it either. She's done phenomenal again with this heel run. So, but yeah, if I had to predict though, which I am, obviously this is a predictions video, I would say Jade. Next match, let's do AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm going to predict AJ. Logan Paul, as he shouldn't, doesn't have a, as he should, doesn't have a good win-loss record in WWE, especially at WrestleMania. So yeah, I'm predicting he hopefully loses to AJ, and we treat him as the actual top star wrestler that he is. But I could also see AJ losing, Logan Paul winning, and them somehow being something to do with Karrion Kross, so they can drag on that feud with Karrion Kross and AJ, give Karrion something to do, which I've been wanting them to give Karrion something to do, but this is Jade. This ain't it. But we'll see what happens. But I'm going to predict AJ. Randy was supposed to have a match against Kevin Owens. That's getting really unfortunate. News about Kevin Owens having to get neck surgery. Hopefully something serious and he recovers well, but due to that, Randy does not have an opponent, but I'm sure he will at Mania. I'm sure they're going to give him someone. A lot of people are predicting he's going to fight Nick Aldis. If that does end up being the case, I would predict Randy Orton to win, though I'm not going to predict that match to happen. I don't think it will happen. I think him RKOing Nick is just Randy being Randy, and I think people are looking too into it, thinking they're trying to build a match between him and Nick Aldis. I think what they could do, though, and I think could be a likely option, is that Nick Aldis is going to debut someone at Mania to face Randy as revenge. There's a lot of people that have signed back over with WWE that have yet to debut yet. Malachi Black could be one of them. Another one could be Rusev. So I think maybe one of those two could be a surprise opponent that Nick Aldis dishes out on Randy Orton. And then I would predict either one of them to get the win over Randy. Another match that hasn't been made official for the card yet, but I'm sure will happen, would be the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. I think to get some momentum and do something with this heel turn with the New Day, because it started off as really good, and now they dragged it out. Haven't really been doing anything with it until now. I think they should give the win to the New Day. I will predict the New Day to become the new tag team champions at WrestleMania, as once again, I believe they should. I don't think the SmackDown Tag Team titles have a match announced for Mania. They'll probably do a multi-man match. If they do, I'm just going to predict the Street Profits retain. The United States title match did thankfully get announced for Mania. It's not just going to happen on a random week of SmackDown, because I do believe Jacob Fatu deserves his moment. He's such a phenomenal athlete, and I think he's going to get his moment winning his first singles belt, winning that U.S. title at WrestleMania against LA Knight. Someone who should finally got the moment with the IC title at Mania, which would have been awesome, should have been Sheamus, but they still did do a multi-man IC title match at Mania, but they did not put Sheamus in there, which I thought was a mistake. I think we lost the plot there, but still kind of excited for this fatal four-way between Dominic, Braun, Finn, and Penta. I do think Braun is going to retain, though. My hopes is that, they give something to Dirty Dom. He's such a great athlete, too, and does so good with his character work. I think he deserves something. I think it'd be a cool moment for him. And I would love if that's the way we get Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day, finally, because Finn's career needs that. I think that would be a phenomenal way to do it, was just have Dom pin Balor to win the title. And that would be such a classic heel Dom way to do it, not even pinning the champ to win the belt. But I think Dom and Finn Judgment Day is going to finally blow up in that match, and we'll see the aftermath of it finally. They've been dragging that breakup for ages. I think they were going to blow up in that match, but I think it's going to cost them both the match. And I think, Braun is going to retain and get the win. Though I want Dom to win, my prediction would be Braun. All right, next, let's do the rest of the women's matches. I know on SmackDown this week, they're doing some tag team thing to finally determine who's going to be fighting for the tag team belts at Mania, which is getting this stupid. This shows the problem with this build of WrestleMania this year. A week beforehand, we're forming random teams, throwing Natalia in a random team again with someone for no reason, and even though they haven't won a match yet, they're thrown into a number one contendership shot for the titles. And then it just shows why this Mania this year, the build-up has been bad. Is because we're just now a week or two before Mania, we're determining number one contenders for the tag titles with women's tag titles. They've never done good with the booking for the women's tag titles. I thought they did start to do good with it with Bianca and Jay, with how many people they were fighting, but I don't know, man. What they should have done with, I feel, with Liv eliminating Alexa at the Chamber, and they were teasing it, have Alexa team with the Wyatt Six, and then she could have teamed with her old friend Nikki Cross and had them go after the tag titles. That would have been awesome. And you would have finally been doing something with the Wyatt Six, who are just on vacation, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. It concerns me. But no, instead we're just throwing these random teams together into a tag and tender match. I don't know who's going to win that. I don't care personally, just because of how they've treated and booked, how awful they have treated and booked this women's tag title division. Which is just saying, because I like Liv and Raquel, but I think they are going to retain whoever does win this random thrown together number one contender nonsense. Whoever goes on to face them, I think will lose. Since it really hasn't been pushed up to at all. And then Charlotte and Tiffany. Oof, what a mess of building this up. People have been going off script. They've been getting real catty with one another. Charlotte, though, being, of course, more unprofessional, entitled. Oh my gosh. Her entitled self has just been more going off script than Tiffany, of course. Her entitled Nepo baby self always can't handle her emotions. She's gone off script like this several times before in the past. And that's, of course, just made a lot of the build-up to this a mess. I feel bad for Tiffany, though. A couple weeks ago, people said Tiffany did bad. She just repeated her lines in, the actual script. She didn't know what to do because Charlotte was just going off script on her. And then she finally decided to go off script when Charlotte tried to again this past week. And I actually did get some good lines in against Charlotte, calling her out, saying, she was just living in Ric Flair's basement at 25 from her failed volleyball career while she's the world champion. And I think they should. It is Tiffany's time. I think they should give the win to Tiffany. However, Nepo Queen Charlotte, I wouldn't be surprised if they do give it to her and they Triple H books this like he did with Rhea, where like Rhea loses to Charlotte, at first, and then later gets her win later on, and maybe we give Tiffany her win at like Hot WrestleMania and SummerSlam night 1 or 2. So my prediction is that Charlotte's going to win, though I want Tiffany to win. And then we have the triple threat, which has just been, I think, not built well at all. I think they started building it well. Like, you had reasons to justify it being a triple threat match, with Bianca laying her hands on Rhea Ripley during her title match against Io, which should have led to a disqualification and Rhea retaining her title, and that could have been her argument to get into the triple threat. But we didn't use that at all. Instead, we have these shenanigans where Bianca was just thrown in as a special guest referee next time, and then Rhea's is trying to sign her way into the match, even though that's not how contracts effing work. So then we just give her title, one-on-one title rematch, and for some reason make Bianca the special guest referee, thinking that's going to go well. And then just because it gets ended in a double DQ, they both, attack Bianca as the official, as it would rightfully be, and in a WDQ, then Rhea for some reason gets thrown into the match. Like, there were logical reasons to put Rhea in the match, but you didn't go with them. Instead, it just seems like Rhea is just being pushed into the match for no reason, and Bianca is absolutely right, like, about her not being in the match or her shouldn't being in the match, but yet she's getting booed for it now. So I just think it's been booked horribly. But I think it could be definitely one of the best matches on the cards, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to predict Bianca to win. I think some people have argued that, she's the John Cena of the women's division of like the early 2000s. She's overpushed. But she hasn't had a singles title in a while. I think she's a great athlete. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else gets the win. I wouldn't be mad if Io retained. Or they did give it to, I wouldn't be surprised if they did give it to Rhea either, but I think she's the one that's overpushed right now. And I think Bianca should win. I'm going to predict her to win. Anyways, with all that noted, let's move on to the men's World Championship matches. Let's start off with Jey Uso versus Gunther. This has turned into a good build. It did not start off that way, but the last couple weeks with like Gunther using some great heel tactics and like killing Jimmy, and that firing up Jey, it has got me more excited for the match. And honestly, if Gunther's in like my top 10 wrestlers of all time, I think he's just a great workhorse, and I think this reign has unfortunately been a little underwhelming. It started off really good, and I would have liked to see it go on longer, but honestly, if they don't give the win to Jey in this match, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What was the point of him winning the Rumble and like even doing this match again in the first place, or giving him the fire of watching his brother get murdered? So I think it does have to go to Jey. I think Jey's got to win this match. Others, I don't know. It could be interesting to see where you do go with Jey if he doesn't win. But like, again, where is that? Where do you go at that point? So no, I think it does have to go to Jey. I'm predicting Jey to win the match. Even though I like Gunther more, I kind of hope Jey does, because I think he has, last week with the promo, has shown that he can be hopefully more than just, 5 moves, like can be more than just a super kick and an entrance. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the match goes, and I think him winning the title will give him that more. It's already has happened, but having him in this picture will give him more of that push to push himself to further greatness. So yeah, definitely think it's going to go to Jey. I think it has to go to Jey. And then let's talk about the other world title match. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I don't know why I blinked there for a second, but I think just like Jey has to win the world title match with Gunther, I think John has to almost win this match with Cody. Otherwise, this whole heel turn just kind of seems pointless if he doesn't win it. And I think there's just a lot more, on paper, a lot more great feuds you can do if John does win. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still so much stuff you can do with Cody in his reign. Like Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, there's several stuff you can do there. And I'm not going to be mad if Cody does win. I like Cody. But I think it's going to capitalize off this John Cena heel turn better in this retirement tour if John Cena does win. And I think it will do better for the story for now with John Cena's retirement tour and getting to see him enter some title picture feuds with people that he's had classic feuds with before, but flipping the sides this time, where they're the baby face and he's the heel now. Like going back and revisiting his rivalry with AJ Styles, CM Punk, Randy Orton. There's so much good stuff you can do if he does win, and I think he will win. I don't know if we're going to see any assistance from The Rock or not, but I think Heel Cena will pull some heelish tactics out of his sleeve. I don't think it will be necessarily a clean defeat, but I think he will beat Cody Rhodes for the title. And I think near the end of this retirement tour, we'll probably see Cody take the belt back off of him, since again, I think there is still more stuff you can do with Cody's reign as well. But yeah, I think Cena will win, and I'm looking forward to seeing those feuds if Cena does win. And the last match I'll give my prediction for, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. As Seth Rollins said, the battle for the soul of the industry. Seth Rollins is completely unhinged and snapped. I think that segment, that promo he gave against Paul Heyman on Monday was like the fire this match needed, and it's like one of the best segments he's given in a while. And after that segment, I actually do think I am predicting that a lot of those rumored reports, or like rumored guesses of them pulling a swerve and the show ending with Seth winning and Paul Heyman actually walking away with him, I think that's going to be the outcome. Seth is my prediction to win the match. I think it is going to be him or Punk, but yeah, I think Seth is going to win, and that Paul Heyman is going to pull a swerve on everyone and actually betray both Punk and Roman and walk away with Seth. And I hope Seth does the callback line to Roman saying there's always a plan B afterwards. And I think he set up some great aftermath stuff for all of them. Well, yeah, those are my predictions for WrestleMania 41. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if I missed anything. If I did, I probably just didn't care or forgot, but you can comment below. Let me know if I did miss anything. I'll let you know my thoughts and opinions, but let me know your thoughts and opinions down below and your predictions. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.